What will I choose? Hey guys, let's talk about 20 time. It's January, which means I've been giving a lot of thought about what my spring semester project's gonna be. If you've been following the blog, you know that every spring semester I host a 20 time passion project at my classes, and one of the cornerstones of that project is that the teacher also completes a project. So I have a bunch of materials. There'll be a link down there where you can go and read all about my different experiences. So now it's time for me to announce what my 20 time 2018 project is going to be. But first, a little recap, a trip down memory lane about other projects that I've done. So when this started, it was basically in reaction to my honors level freshmen back in California, who were so intensely grade grubby that it was driving me crazy. It was way more about the points than the learning for them, and I knew I had to do something to show them what the point of all this education was for in the first place. So I read through a bunch of different blogs and teacher ideas, Genius Hour, the Google 20 time, the 20% project that teachers were doing, and I basically like smushed all that together into something I called 20 time in my world. And so basically in the spring semester for 12 weeks, we spend one class period, or 20% of a class that meets 5 times a week, 20% of our time working on a project of personal interest. In my world, it has to have an English language arts component, a hook into the Common Core, and there's lots of different things that my kids have done. So I'll put a list down there. You can zoom in here. Lots of different directions kids can go, because I can pretty much find an English language arts hook in anything a kid wants to do. So for me, my projects have varied very widely based on where I am at the beginning of each year. So the first year I wanted to do something fun. School had become a grind. It was all about testing and points, and the kids were there wasn't a lot of joy in my classroom, so I wanted to add some of that. So my first year, I learned ukulele, and I played a song live in front of the student body and in front of my classes. The second year, I actually made a 10-part YouTube series on classroom management, because I wanted to figure out how video worked, and I wanted to just share some ideas, especially with new teachers who are struggling and asking me questions on the blog, and I thought video would be a pretty cool venue to do that. So you could see this here. And then last year, I was definitely feeling my age, and so I decided to work on my upper body strength, and I did a chin up, which you might remember. And so this year, what's it gonna be? So I've rolled around in my head all these ideas, and there's something that's been hawking me for a long time. And basically I've decided I'm tired of this idea staring at me, and I'm going to make it happen. So drum roll, should we do a drum roll? Without further ado, my 20 time 2018 project is I am going to put something out into the professional world that I feel like I've been wanting to build a long time, and that is a full year English 9, English 10 curriculum that a brand new teacher could use, that a homeschooling parent could use. It's going to be the calendars, every handout, every slide, every bell ringer, every daily lesson plan written out and tagged with targeted Common Core state standards. It is a beast of a project, but it's something that I've been kind of tinkering at, playing with the idea for a long time. So this actually started a year ago. Last year on 20 time, I was working out a ton. I'm still kind of doing my little exercise, but I'm definitely not feeling the burn like I was last spring. But while I was working out, I was listening to motivational speakers, and there was this one, and I cannot find it again. It's in the depths of YouTube somewhere. There was this one football coach or business coach or motivational speaker guy who was talking about when you die, and if you I don't know if you know my deal, but my parents both died young, and it's definitely something that's kind of like followed me into my adult life. I realized that our time is very limited. So my dad died at 48, my mom died at 62. I don't know that I'm running out of time, but I definitely am aware of my mortality because of my parents' experience. So there was this speaker in my earbuds while I was, running on the treadmill, and he was talking about when you die and you're laying there on your deathbed, are there going to be ideas or projects or things that you could have built and you could have put out into the world, but because you were lazy or scared or, whatever your issue was, you just didn't do it? And will those ideas die with you? And I was like, what? And so this big project, this full year, I've done this for 20 years. I got some things to say, so I'm going to do it. So I'm calling it the Big Ugly. Like on my computer screen, I have a folder and I've called it the Big Ugly. I've already started on it because me, once I decide to do something, it's go time. I've been getting up at 3 a.m. every morning to chip away at it. And it's this huge project. I've actually chunked out what I need to do, and I calendared out, like if I do a certain amount every day, a couple hours every day, I should be done by April 6th. Now, that's my day, and it's super scary to put it out there and tell you guys, but I sort of feel like if I make a date and I tell you that by April 6th, that is my meet or beat deadline is April 6th, to have a full year curriculum that a new teacher could just download and use verbatim or use as a starting spot to build out. I think that'd be great. I think it's something that's needed. People have reached out to me and asked for similar things like that, and I think I might be the person to build it. So I'm building it. So 20 Time 2018 is all about putting something huge out into the world for professional educators to use. I hope you're down. What this means is that probably not as many blog posts. I don't know that I'm going to post every week. And certainly YouTube has survived just fine without me in the last month. I know it's been about a month since I did a video, and YouTube just keeps going and the world just keeps on spinning. So I'll be back when I come up for air after 20 Time 2018 is done, although I'll probably blog in the interim, like something will happen and I'll just have to say something about it. So I'm around, but that's what I'm doing. So when you get up and you're having your coffee, you just think Laura is on her laptop right now before the sun rises working on this thing. And then also what I'm doing, a sort of a side 2018, is related to this grate. I don't know if you noticed there's like a bar behind me now that wasn't there before. That's because we have a new member of the family. Internet teacher friends, I would like you to meet George. This is George, the newest Randazzo. He also keeps me up. He's another reason for me to get up super early, get him fed and get him trained and all that good stuff. So it's a big, productive spring project for me. If you're interested in bringing 20 Time to your classroom, it has revolutionized things for my kids. It is a favorite project. I definitely encourage you to check it out. There's links down there for you to grab a whole set of materials and backtrack through my blog experience. I hope you check it out. All right, I hope you're having a great January. Have a great spring semester. Things are rebooting. New classes starting. Have a great one. That's it for me, you guys. Okay, I gotta go work on the Big Ugly. All right, bye everyone. See you next time. Peace.